Del Suggs is rapidly becoming one of the most popular leadership speakers in the country. Inducted into the National Campus Entertainment Hall of Fame in 2001, Del is a singer-songwriter recognized around the world. Beyond his musical career, his volunteer work in various human service, civil rights, environmental, and educational organizations has been acknowledged on 3 separate occasions, with a nomination for the Harry Chapin Award for Contributions to Humanity. That is the highest honor the entertainment industry awards for public service. With a master's degree in higher ed, he's also served as an instructor at Florida State University, teaching in both the College of Education and the College of Music. A rare combination of a performer, a scholar, and a lifelong leader, Del's message rings true with the voice of experience and inspiration.
There's nothing you can do on a college campus that will have a greater impact or a longer-lasting effect than a powerful leadership development program. What I mean is, students will forget algebra equations, they'll forget chemistry formulas, the poetry they memorize, and unfortunately much of the history lessons. But the principles and skills of leadership, they'll use them during their time as student leaders. They'll transfer them into their own career success after college. That's the kind of long-term result I'm seeing. And it all comes back to that single kernel that was planted during a good leadership development program.
First of all, I want to talk to you about leadership, what leadership is. It's very important that we start off by defining leadership. Leadership is a process by which an individual influences others or directs an organization. Pretty simple. It's like an academic definition. But you know, leadership is wider than that, and leadership is deeper than that. Leadership is like love. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you feel it, you know? But let me give you my favorite definition of leadership, and this is the one I want you to take home, take within yourself, make this a part of your life. Leaders inspire others to know, to do, or to be. Think about that. Leaders inspire others to know, to do, or to be.
The thing about leadership is it's not academic. Certainly you can study leadership as an intellectual exercise, and we all have dog-eared copies of the Leadership Challenge. But learning theories of leadership doesn't necessarily translate into the application of those theories. I really try to help students understand what leadership is and where it comes from by giving them practical, concrete examples that they can relate to in their own lives.
There are actually 3 different types of leaders. Let me run through those real quickly for you. Trait-based leaders are born leaders. Anybody here a trait-based leader? Yeah, we sometimes call trait-based leaders bossy. My sister was a trait-based leader. 8 years old, my sister would be on the playground. She'd say, okay, we're going to play Cowboys and Indians. You be the Cowboys, you be the Indians. You go over, and we'd say, okay, we would just do it. I mean, we didn't elect her queen. That's just the way she was. She just did it, you know? She's a trait-based leader. The next type of leader are called event-based leaders. Now, event-based leaders are people who become leaders because of a situation, because of an occurrence, because of a tragedy, because of a disaster. Event-based leaders step into the fire. Have you ever been driving down the road and there's been an automobile accident and you pull off and several other cars pull off? Somebody will step forward and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. You get a blanket out of your car. You go out and direct traffic. You call 911. You come with me and let's try to help this guy get out of his car. Somebody will step forward. These are what we call event-based leaders. And I think most of you are like me. You are what we call transitional-based leaders. Now, transitional-based leaders are people who decided at some point in their life to become a leader. You made a conscious or unconscious decision to become a leader. Do you remember doing that? See, I remember plain as day. It's like crystal clear in my mind. Freshman orientation, Bay High School. I'm in the auditorium with 400 other students. Sitting next to me is my best friend, Lonnie Stanley. The principal and staff are on stage, and the principal says, please welcome student body president Mike Farina, senior class president Tommy Welch, and the entire student body. And the faculty and staff all went, shalom, when they walked on stage. It was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And I punched Lonnie. I said, Lonnie, look at this. These 2 guys run the school. This is so cool. We could do this. We could do this. 4 years later, the same principal, the same faculty and staff, please welcome student body president Del Suggs and senior class president Lonnie James Stanley. We had made ourselves into leaders. We had transformed ourselves into leaders. And I think that's what most of you have done. You have made yourselves leaders. You weren't trait-based leaders. You weren't born leaders. You weren't leaders because you were forced into it because of an event or situation. You chose at some point in your life to become a leader.
We can talk about leadership theory all day. I think it's important to understand the basics of leadership in the abstract. But what students want, what students need is an instruction manual. Every single leadership presentation I do, regardless of the topic, always ends with a to-do list. I always give specific steps that they need to take in order to achieve their goals. It's like, if you want to be a leader, here's what you do.
First of all, do something. Do something. Find something you believe in. Find a passion, find a cause that you believe in, and do something about it. Now, the problem is most of us become really involved and we care about things that are beyond our control. We're concerned about things like pollution, world hunger, AIDS in Africa. You know what? You can't do a thing about that. But you know what you can do? People are starving around the world. People are also hungry in your hometown. Do something about hunger in your hometown. And don't forget, now you're a leader. So I'm not saying don't go down and volunteer at the local soup kitchen. See, leaders don't do that. Average people do that. You're a leader. You want to organize your dorm floor and take everybody from your residence hall down to work the soup kitchen.
I've spent my entire life so far as a volunteer leader. I've got a box of plaques on the many organizations I've worked with over the years, and it means a lot to me. And it's all because I was inspired when I was younger, because I had heroes I tried to emulate. We don't seem to have many heroes these days. And that's why it's so important to inspire students to achieve greatness. They need to understand that they can set high goals and they can do great things.
The world is really in your hands. I want you to choose today to go forth and be a better leader, to practice leadership skills, to do something with your life, to create a vision of who you are and where you want to be with your life, and practice a sense of personal integrity so that everyone that you come in contact with knows that they can trust you. And I'm going to close with a quote from one of my heroes, Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy said, "Some people see things as they are and ask, why? I dream of things that never were and ask, why not? Dream big and ask why not, and do good things." Thank you.